What's up everyone? So today's video is actually going up a little over a week after the YouTube call-out event. Brian and I had such an awesome time at that event. It was so cool to see subscribers come up and meet us, so thank you. It was nice to meet you guys. And of course, meeting Mike, Street Speed 717, and even getting to race our cars against his was so much fun. So Brian and I have to do more events like that because it was just an awesome event to go to. I gotta give the Audi a little bit of a break and we're gonna work on the Tacoma today. So with the truck all cleaned up, I'm gonna let it cool down before I go ahead and do the first oil change on the truck. I've actually let it go a little bit longer than I'd like to. I'm about 8,200 miles right now. Usually I do it every 5,000 miles or 6 months. But with Toyota, they say that you can go every 10,000 miles. So I was gonna kind of try to do that. But with this being the very first oil change, I think it's time to go ahead and do it and check it to see what it's like. And then I'll probably take it in around the 13 or 14,000 mile mark. So the first thing I wanna fix before I get to the oil change, if you guys remember seeing the video where I installed the footwell lights up underneath, the power cord that I have running for it goes through the door frame and then up underneath the engine. And then I have all the wiring tucked up nicely back in here. I'm gonna redo the wiring and do it correctly this time. I have all of the, there we go. I have all of the connections that I need to do that and then tape them up again. And then I need to figure out how to put that through the firewall because I think this is my only way all the way down here of getting all the way through. And I'm not sure that's going to work simply because it's a pretty tight seal here. There's a portion wrapped around all of these wires. I believe these go to the fuse box up underneath. That is the only connection that I see to get through. So I may or may not have to leave that wire running around through the door there. All right guys, so I'm done with one side. I've used this heat shrink tube to put the wires together this time. Instead of meeting them like this, I now have it in one solid line with that tube running on the outside, and then I just use electrical tape to clean it up a little bit and hold everything in place. With everything cleaned up and looking nice under there, I'm gonna go ahead and do the oil. That way I can get it draining before I move on to the other portion of that wire. I don't see the oil filter up top like on my 07, so I have a feeling it's up underneath the skid plate along with the drain plug, so I need to remove this front skid plate or the one behind it. Ooh, there's a lot of dirt in there from off-roading, holy crap. All right, well, doing that one-handed is not, or one person is not the easiest to do. There we go. Look at all that dirt. So I found the oil filter is right up here underneath this plate, and then I don't think I need to remove the other skid plate, and I'll show you guys here in a sec. So as I make my way under the truck here, I think you guys can see this on the very top of the screen. This is the oil bolt, or yeah, to drain the oil. So I don't actually have to take off this skid plate, just the other one for the oil filter. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And it's still pretty hot under here, so I gotta let it cool down a little bit more, and then we're good to go. It would be really nice to have a lift at some point in the future. Woo. Well, that was easier than I thought. And I think I'm gonna join you guys back there. Oh, the oil's starting to come out. I have a lot more clearance back here, that's for sure. Ooh. Oh crap. So I knew I was gonna have to change oil pans because this new one that I have isn't deep enough, and I didn't want it to kind of splash everywhere. Let's hope I can get the rest without spilling. Ooh. All right. So it's definitely brown. I'm not sure how how much I trust the Toyota's 10,000 miles. If you guys can see it, well, it's a cool reflection of my wheel, but it's definitely dirty. Definitely needs it after 8,000 miles. So I'm probably gonna stick with my normal 6 months or every 5,000 miles and not let it go this long on the next one. All right, so it's not the best to change your oil when it's like 100 and some degrees outside, but I've got everything tightened up down below. I need to go ahead and remove the oil filter. I got my pan all empty and ready to go for that in case there's any oil. And this is the first vehicle oil change I've done in a while. I'm used to doing 3 quarts in my motorcycle. I need to figure out how to twist this thing off. You know what? I might have to go grab the tool I had for the Lotus. I am so lucky that the Lotus had a Camry V6 engine in it, because this fits perfectly. Otherwise, I would not be able to get this off today.
Yeah.
So there is the dirty oil filter, and here is the new one. Oh, you guys are moving. And here is the new oil filter. I went with a K&N. It was like $7 or $8. So this whole oil change has cost me about $45 so far. So I'll go ahead and take the new one, just insert it back into this canister. Before I put this back in, I learned the hard way on the Lotus that I need to replace both of these seals, because on the Lotus, when I put it back in, there was a leak in the Lotus. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel both of these off and replace these before I put them back on. So there's one on the outer lip here, and then I have to take this tool back off and pop that other cap back off and replace that one as well. So here's the brand new seal. I'm just gonna take it and loop it back into place there. And we should have no leaks with that one, so everything is on nicely there. I'm gonna replace the other one once I put this back on the truck. It makes it a lot easier. All right, now we can take that little cap out. So that's just this little cover right here. Peel that one out and pop in the new one here. So I'm ready to put the fresh oil in. Before I go ahead and put the skid plate on and button it up underneath, I need to run the truck, make sure there's no leaks underneath after I put in the new oil. This is the oil that I'm using. The truck says it takes 6.2 quarts. So I have my OW20 full synthetic. I got 7 just in case. So that's 6 quarts. I'll go ahead and start up the truck, run it, see if I need to add any more. We'll go from there. I shouldn't have put this out in the sun. Holy crap, that gets hot. Whew. Alright guys, so 6 quarts went out and 6 went in, so I have the old oil sitting right there. I do have about half a quart left in case I have to add any more, so I will keep an eye on that. I'm glad I got the wires hooked up correctly, but this one I'm just gonna keep running through the door, up underneath the hood and down for right now. If I choose to change that later, I'll let you guys know, but for right now, I think the wiring was more important at this point. So with the truck done now and in its spot, I wanna go back to the Audi real quick. So we'll go ahead and take that out of the garage. And this is a cold start up on a 2010 Audi R8. So when you take this car 600 miles in 2 days and you do some drag racing with it, it's gonna get pretty dirty. So my car's been sitting like this for a little while. Obviously I don't like anything to be dirty. I want this thing to look nice and clean, but it's completely covered in a whole bunch of road dust and debris and things like that. Is all cleaned up now after that 600-mile round trip. Just to go over real quick this car's performance. Obviously it's not a straight line performance car, but I was running about 85 miles an hour in the mid 8-second range. I don't think that was all that bad, but again, this is more of a performance handling car, taking back roads and things like that. At some point, maybe I'll add some more power to this or upgrade to a V10. I'll have a video of that later on. But either way, I had a lot of fun at that event, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button. I will see you guys next video.